So for the past couple of weeks, new information has been developing around microtransactions. The House of Lords, the British government, I don't know who they are. I'm American, I'm not British, but the British people, the House of Lords, apparently they're planning on having regulation for microtransactions. It's about time that a government did something about the dreaded microtransactions. Everyone's applauding. They're saying, "Go Brits! They're finally regulating them. They're finally getting the microtransactions handled. Nobody likes microtransactions. We'll take a win anywhere we can get one." Do you want to know what I think? Do you want to know what I really honestly think about microtransactions? I think we could have solved this problem years ago. I think as an industry, if we had said to ourselves, you know what? We will not play FIFA, we will not play Madden, we will not play games that have predatory microtransactions embedded into the core mechanics of their games. If everybody had a similar reaction to Star Wars Battlefront 2, we would not be in this mess to begin with. We kept on buying the games. We as in people. We as in the millions upon millions of copies of these games that were sold on an annual basis for the past 3, 4, 5 years. I can't tell you how many times at the end of the year, I look up total sales for video game across multiple platforms in different countries, and right at the tippity top, the games with the most egregious microtransactions are on them. Can't tell you how many times I've seen Madden and FIFA and other games like that on it. But does it matter? Do people care? No, not really. I'm from an era where you pay for DLC, where you pay for additional content that the developer is working on that's going to be released months later. I'm from that era. I'm from the early 2010s when that was like really, really popular. I remember I was listening to Asmongold a couple of days ago, and he was talking about how he had spent like $200 on the stupid Wraith knife in Apex Legends, and how he didn't even get it after spending like $200 and hours upon hours of time opening up loot boxes on his channel. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the Wraith knife in Apex. Yeah, I spent fucking $200 on that, man. I never got it.
These arguments are tired, they're old, you've probably heard them thousands upon thousands of times, but they're very true. It is incredibly obnoxious as somebody who has to purchase a game for $60, now potentially $70 with NBA 2K, whatever it's going to be called, going to cost $70. It's going to be even more egregious to have that game cost that amount of money, then have microtransactions and loot boxes going to already be in the game. We already know that they're going to be in the game. To be honest with you, I'm not a gambler. I don't like gambling. I don't like throwing my money into a system that does not give me what I want. If I want a skin that's in a loot box, I don't want to have to go through the process of opening up a loot box to get to the skin. If I want LeBron James in a pack, I don't want to have to purchase the pack to then get LeBron James. I want to purchase LeBron James as a player within this video game. And that is not what happens in a lot of these video games. That's not like if you can open up a shit ton of loot boxes. You could get them on the first draw. You could get them on the 200th try. Maybe. But I don't like gambling to begin with. So why would I like gambling in my video games? It sucks. It's boring. It's obnoxious. It's a time waster. It's not even a time waster. It's a terrible thing to put into your game. Gambling. It's a terrible system to put on to kids. And I remember, again, Asmongold, he was talking about it way better than I could ever talk about it. He articulated himself perfectly. He was pretty much talking about that cigarette companies would advertise to kids, and they would have them be really, really colorful and really, really bright, because that would appeal to children.
That's why they use like really bright, like colorful imagery. Like, and this is the same thing. Like, so they already fought this battle with fucking kids' cigarettes, and they have like kids' cigarettes that use like really bright colors and shit. And they did that in order to kind of get kids into the idea of appealing to them buying cigarettes. So they already did this shit before. So I don't think this is an accident or anything like that.
I know people are talking about kids and how this could affect children and things of that nature, but for me personally, I don't want to see it in games. I don't like gambling in games. Like, unless we're dealing with in-game money that doesn't cost any... Like, I don't mind playing a hand of blackjack in Red Dead Redemption 2, for example. I love playing blackjack as John Marston. It's a whole lot of fun, but I hate playing a pachinko machine in a video game with my own money. Instead of having fake money that's in-game, I'm now dealing with my own money in Overwatch. Or whatever other game that employs microtransactions within their gameplay. I'm so annoyed with this conversation because it seems like it's getting nowhere, because I don't know if you've noticed who is usually in governmental positions. Usually it's a bunch of old people that can't necessarily relate to the younger generation and doesn't understand anything about microtransactions. They have to have somebody tell them what a microtransaction is, what a loot box is, and why it's bad, instead of knowing why it's bad already. Do I even need to say that microtransactions are bad because we already know that they're bad? It's just obnoxious how prevalent they are in games instead of good DLC like Blood and Wine or Heart of Stone or the Spider-Man DLC, where there's like new and additional content and levels and maps and things of that nature. It just sucks that that's not the precedent that's been set for DLC, and that companies have pretty much just abandoned that model to begin with, and now they're just trying to figure out how they can put microtransactions into their games instead of trying to figure out how they could put better DLC into their games. And by better DLC, I mean DLC expansions, not cosmetic effects that you can get from DLC, because I know microtransactions, they fall into DLC as well. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. Until my next video, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.